Your was good. I hear in this GQ interview, Donald Glover talks about dissing Drake or something along those lines. And I think Drake is in his feelings recently about such. I have a road, I guess, of the videos that I'm reacting to this coming week. This is like the lighter of the three, you know? So I'm trying to like give you some like entertainment news before I like have some rather unfortunate news reactions. So I'm just gonna react to this interview of him breaking down his characters. I'm familiar with all of Donald Glover's content, I'd say. I think he's one of the greatest creators of all time. I'm very interested to see how this interview goes beyond that Drake diss and to see the actual context to what he said.
I got so much flack for people like, was he really them robots? Because I don't think Lando would do that. I was like, maybe he would. It's like, I don't know. But also, I stand by him like, there's lots of things to in space.
Yeah, I think that's like probably the Space's #1 export if I had to
Wednesday.
guess in the future.
Sorry.
Oh snap, was he really in Wednesday?
What was the word? No, Community.
Oh, I was gonna say.
You're saying I could be a lawyer.
I'm saying you're a football player. It's in your blood.
That's racist.
Your soul.
That's racist.
Your eyes.
That's gay.
That's homophobic.
That's black.
That's racist.
Damn.
My whole career has been moments that I didn't realize until afterwards were like special, which I think is exactly how you want them to be. Like you don't want to realize that. In Community, we must have changed like sound crews like I'm not joking, like maybe every 6 weeks. I don't know.
It reminds me almost of like Freaks and Geeks, where it's like you could tell the studio or like the people who are putting it together and paying for it were struggling to some degree, and like there wasn't so much demand for it. But at the same time, you look at something like Freaks and Geeks, James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, or Martin Starr, before they were like super popular, getting popularity and like doing their first real gig all together for people who would be in the industry for the next 10 plus years.
I would have to ADR. And I thought I would ADR entire episodes. And I thought that was normal. They would be like, yeah, and then Donald says something funny. I am the truest repairman! And I was like, okay, that's like, that's Hollywood. So I would just...
That's crazy.
I think the first season I was like really nervous about it, but once I realized like, oh, you can do this again and again and again and it'll be fine, it really let me like be loose. And also I was like friends with those guys, so I didn't feel like nervous about like, we were always trying to make each other laugh. But he was like, you know, Dan's kind of like a story expert.
The not sus part of Rick and Morty.
Jeff, how do you stay so fit?
Diet, exercise, genetics.
We had no clue that like people were watching Community. NBC made it very clear, like they were like, this is a bomb. This show belongs in the garbage. Yeah. Like they were like, I mean, like, well, it wasn't that. It was just like, you know, we weren't like the cool show. Like everybody was like, Parks and Rec has all the cool people. We were kind of like, oh, I guess we're like kind of the misfits. And like, you know, I had friends on Parks and Rec.
I could see that. You got like the guy from The Soup is like your main guy.
No, I guess we're just kind of like, you know, this silly show like no one kind of cares about. It is strange now, like where I'm like, oh yeah, people watch the show. Especially now with like it being on like streaming. You know, people watch it in a week.
It is a really underrated cast. You got Yvette Nicole Brown on there too.
Solo.
That's such a cool gig to get if you're Donald Glover as well. I remember when this was announced and everybody was tweeting that high school photo of him wearing the Star Wars shirt. To get like validated on a stage like that if you're someone like him. One of the most diverse creatives of our time. Is this garden, because I recognize this orange garden from the Because the Internet movie. Is this like at his house? That's just crazy.
What do I do to play? And he literally goes like, just be charming. Like he was like, just be charming. He's like, that's pretty much it. And he's like looking around. He's like, that's the secret. Like, and I was like, okay. And I guess he's right. Like he's kind of like Lando's like charm incarnate, which you know he's kind of a maverick.
Yeah.
Which I don't think there's a lot of
Riz
anymore. Like you know, it's hard to be like the smooth White Lotus.
I keep getting shook. I'm like, when did I miss that?
I'm laughing because you're just like, oh, fuck, you really do have to say it, though. We were really trying to portray, like, what it felt.
His ability to, like, cast for that show as well was so fantastic. Lakeith Stanfield is, like, one of my favorite actors, like, period, right now, and I love to see how much he's been getting cast into recently. I think it's Brian Tyree Henry. Yeah, dude, I was on the money. That's crazy. But like him in like Spider-Verse or even that Bullet Train, you know what I mean? Really makes some stars out of the people who he's casted.
I choose you.
This is such a creepy episode.
Must kidnap that bitch in 1974, cause she ain't been a kid in 45 years.
She in there?
No. And don't go in there, the alligator's in there.
That's such a great Cat Williams cameo.
Look, it's good to know that you don't hate black people now, you know?
What? No. I can't stand a lot of you. Well, now I feel that way. Because you tried to ruin my career.
The Liam Neeson one was like, yo, shout out to Jordan Peele for
Wow.
making that happen.
That's awesome.
Yo, shout out. I was like, yo, I have this idea. And also I was like, because the lesson he's going to learn from this is like, yeah, I'm never telling the truth again. So we were like, that's really funny. You think we could get him to do? And what I love about that episode and about him is like, that episode doesn't work without him. There is nobody else. Like maybe homie from Seinfeld. A lot of people reacted that way. They were like, well, where's Atlanta? I want to go back home. There's a great story of like Chief Keef going to like Paris recording with Kanye.
Right.
And the whole time he was like, this ain't it. He was like, this ain't it. And I'm like, yeah, like that is why you are the way you are, because you are so tied to your home. But when you come back, those chicken wings don't taste the same, because you've experienced something else. Alison Brie introduced me to Ludwig. Ludwig was doing the music on Community.
Wow.
I remember it was weird. Like,
That's crazy, because he does a lot of
it
his
was almost
music.
like love at first sight type moment where I remember he was in the food trailer and she's like, Donald, you gotta meet Ludwig. And he was wearing like purple pants. He was like cutting a green apple and he goes, hey. I don't know why that happened. Honestly, like it just, on most shows you don't usually meet the composer. Like it just doesn't happen. Like you're not, like in most movies you're not meeting the composer. So like he just happened to be around and I think we were both just interested. I was like, I love music. I was like, oh cool, like you should take a look at my music.
Shout out to Jordan
I wish
Peele.
you guys could hear the first version of Redbone. It was so weird.
I think this is here we go. To my knowledge, it started as a Drake diss.
You know, time is the oven that makes something special, but we did a lot of work. I had that idea like 3
I was
years.
like within like the first like real group of people who saw this. I was in my college dorm when this came out. And I saw it like within the first 5 minutes.
I want to do that. Like I really want to do that. And I was like, cool. And I had the song.
Hiro Murai is also low-key one of my favorite directors. He does a lot of Atlanta as well.
And I swear to God, like it started as the idea for the song started as a joke. To be completely honest, like This Is America, like that was all we had was like that line. And it started as a Drake diss. To be honest, it's like I was like as like a funny way of like doing it, but then I was like, this shit sounds kind of hard though, you know. So I was like, let me play with it. So we just had that for a long time. I told Hiro the idea, and he was like, oh, let's do it. And honestly, we studied Thriller for a long time.
Okay, hold on. Before he moves on, because that was quick. I thought it was good. The way the fucking blogs are, I guess, so thirsty for this shit, it like wasn't that big a deal. But I feel like Drake's reaction to it has been an overreaction and a half, to my knowledge. Oh, so Drake recently dissed him. It's overrated and over-awarded, which let me see what awards This Is America's won, because I'm pretty sure it's only ever won music video awards, to be honest. Oh, is it too good of a music video, Drake? Is it too good of a message? Like, what is this problem with it? I guess it won Song of the Year that year. Made Grammy by winning both Song and Record of the Year. He's just pissed that like there's another actor, singer doing better than him, I think, if I had to guess. Let's come back. But here's, I guess, if they go all the way back in a timeline, here is everything that they've basically, Donald Glover has said about Drake for him to get pissed.
Kendrick Lamar and Schoolboy Q combined.
I'm the best rapper, definitely top 5. If these other rappers think they both, they fucking not alive. I cut their head off. That's every rapper living. That's Kendrick, that's Drake, that's Schoolboy, that's everyone. I don't give a fuck. I fucking kill you niggas. I fucking kill you niggas. You niggas bigger. Goddamn motherfucker.
So that's it, right? So that's 2014. That's clearly a freestyle and like obviously referential to Kendrick's Control, in my opinion. And I think if you're Drake, you're happy to be named in that instance. I think that you understand it's competitive in nature, hip hop. You can only have so many people paying attention to you. Yeah, I still right now like nothing that I'd be like as pissed as Drake has been to say it's like an over awarded whatever. If like This Is America.
Sydney, You said on stage you were top 5, which you should feel like, because you are a rapper.
Every rapper
should feel that way.
Every rapper
Right?
should feel that way.
But you said you were better than Kendrick, Drake, and Schoolboy Q.
Yes.
What made you say that? Why those 3 names in particular?
Because I feel that way. That's my truth. Like, I said those rappers in particular because I feel like they're the best. I feel like they're the best, right? I mean, like Kendrick, Drake, Schoolboy. Like I listen to them all the time. Like I think they're just really good. I really do think they're the best.
Have you spoke to them or seen them since?
No.
Nah, not at all.
No, I don't. I'm sure they're fine with. That's the thing. Like
Kendrick
I'm
probably
sure, like,
is.
Kendrick is fine.
Drake's
with it
probably sensitive as hell. You
Yeah,
know how he
shout out.
does.
Drake is probably not taking it great. But like, I know the TDE guys. Like they don't understand.
Is that it? Because like Charlamagne made that joke, brother. Not even Donnie Boy right over there. Donnie just said a joke because he's a comedian. Oh my lord.
After releasing his 3rd studio album, 2016's Awaken My Love, which spawned popular track Redbone, Drake showed Glover some love after reposting a photo of him sitting alongside 1985. But
So yeah, again, obviously, like post has since been deleted. So Drake is in his feels.
Anything anymore. There's just so much shit. Well, you have to have a moment in real time. Oh, it informed, like, because, you know, of all the uprisings and riots that were happening, like, it really informed, like, my writing and stuff. And then I was like, oh, I really, you know, I was, like, having sessions with, like...
It was, like, really ahead of its time, to be honest. And again, like, between, like, who he collaborated with, everything that he was referencing, be it the church shooting, everything that occurred at that time. He did a really great job visually articulating the chaos that currently exists within the country and the problems that exist within it.
You know, Thug and all these people, and I was like, hey, would you want to get on that? And I was like, you know, like making it like a We Are the World, like for trap. To me, culture is just compression of information. So I was like, all of it just needs to be compressed into this moment. So what was happening needed to feel like it could only be happening right now. That first half, that second half, and then the running. We were like, it needed to feel continuous because it needed to feel like a moment, because moments, I feel like the internet kind of robs moments. So that was really the work that we put in. I feel very, it's interesting that it worked. We were like, oh man, it probably wasn't gonna work.
Stop.
But we really just studied Thriller a lot. We studied how that became iconic. It used to be about access. So it'd be like, if you had access to be able to make stuff and then you happened to be good, it was different. Now everyone has access.
It's true.
And it's way easier to make all these things.
Which is a good
thing.
thing.
Way easier to make music, you know. We're always racing towards very good ideas. That's all it matters at the end of the day. Like, yeah, Elvis couldn't be a great actor necessarily.
Yeah.
Because he was focusing so much. Making music took a lot more. But now it's like all that stuff is
really
happening,
true.
all those things are the same anyway. And I had learned, like, yo, if you're like living for other people, you're probably gonna end up being sad, which is like, what's the point?
That's awesome. That was a really good interview, honestly. That was a really good breakdown. Long story short, Drake, you're a bitch, because Jesus Christ, that was the most timid fucking shit as expected, because it's Donald Glover. What is Donald Glover gonna say that's out of pocket? Are you fucking kidding me?